Hi.
Yes, it's been a while, and I hope you're well.
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
I'm just a bit down that finally, like you seen, Akufo-Addo and Odame, they just tried to destroy Agordzo. Like you see, yesterday, the court exonerated them. Politicians must stop this distraction of citizens. That's the sad part of it. When politicians set out to just destroy citizens for their Machiavellian political ends, that's what just happened in this case. Anyway, let's go on with your questions.
Well, let me first start, and you have given me the very first question because you said you are down. You should be a happy man because you got your client exonerated.
Yes, then that gave release to the energy we had bottled up for a while, which is that Odame, Attorney General Akufo-Addo were just trying to destroy Benjamin Agordzo and his family, and that's just what they succeeded in doing, from 2019, September 2019 to yesterday, 24th January. How can you destroy a man like that just for political expediency so that they will look good? They just wanted to give the purported attempt to do a coup, a coloration that they were senior police officers, they were senior military people, and you see it's falling flat. Because Senator, the main reason I'm saying so is that when Akufo-Addo was in opposition, and that is the case. Please, listeners, we are discussing the actual case, what happened. So it's not just political commentary. The gist of the case is that you said Benjamin Agordzo for saying that the conditions were rife in an Arab Spring in Ghana was supporting a coup d'etat. And I'm saying that when Akufo-Addo, so that is the case. That's the central part of the Attorney General's case in court. That Benjamin Agordzo typed on WhatsApp message platform. That's an NGO that Dr. Matam, who is dead now, had formed, all right, to do philanthropy and also mobilize citizens to become active to stand up against the misgovernance of Akufo-Addo. So on that platform, Benjamin Agordzo said that, listen, Ghana, the conditions are already there. The Arab Spring there is already here. The conditions are right for it. And that is what Akufo-Addo and Odame, Attorney General, interpreted as supporting a coup. There are other smaller facts, we'll come to that. But my point is that Akufo-Addo came to power on the back of an argument of Arab Spring. What is Arab Spring? That the politicians had chopped our money and citizens were dying of hunger. Citizens didn't have employment. Citizens couldn't pay rent. Citizens couldn't pay electricity, etc. That is what the Arab Spring is. And so it led to citizens spontaneously getting up to fight such corruption in governance, such bad governance. So the comment that brought Akufo-Addo, that was the comment that resonated with us in 2016 because we all agreed that at the time John Mahama was corrupt, his other ministers were chopping left, right, center. So when Akufo-Addo spoke Arab Spring, it resonated with us, and that's how we voted for him. John Mahama never prosecuted Akufo-Addo. Then Akufo-Addo comes into office, somebody says Arab Spring, they say, wallahi, this one, they could be court. Then straight, they take him to court. What do you think that is? Odame and Akufo-Addo, what do you think they are doing? They're not destroying the man and his family. Because if Arab Spring, saying Ghana has conditions for Arab Spring, or Arab Spring is in Ghana, and I say it, listen, Arab Spring has been with us for some time now. Arab Spring, Duncan Williams, and so many other people have said it. Arab Spring is in Ghana. Yet, by doing this, that is what they thought. That they could just gag the Arab Spring that the Ghanaian is suffering. And the court yesterday said, no, you lie bad. The Arab Spring, we are feeling it. You cannot gag citizens from saying there is Arab Spring in Ghana. So that is what it is. So this is a case that must energize all Ghanaians to get up. We are too docile. We supported Akufo-Addo when he said Arab Spring, Arab Spring. That was the argument. We all felt the hunger in 2016. Today, is hunger not more? Look, even after COVID hit, 850,000 Ghanaians were pushed down the poverty line again. 850,000. So at the time Agordzo was talking about Arab Spring, he had every legit. That was it before COVID. There was always the issue of what? Unemployment. There was always the issue of unemployment. People were suffering. So he said, look, conditions in Ghana are ripe for another spring. Then you hold him before court. The very argument you use to come to power. So is that a distraction of the man and his family? That's nonsense.
And we understand ACP Agordzo is now reached the retirement age, so he can return into active service. Is that correct?
Yes, partly. So he's retired. You know, under the Constitution, Article 199, for a certain category of public officers, 60 is the retiring age, right? Well, but the same Constitution provides in 199 clause 4, we amended it, that the president can give an extension, 2 years, and cumulatively up to 5 years. So the fine policeman that Agordzo is, look, Akufo-Addo, the least thing he can do is to tell Dampare to give Agordzo an extension so that he can continue to do the work he's doing. You know, he was director in charge of transformation, trying to transform the police service. You know, the police service itself has had its own challenges. It's in leadership crisis, right? Yeah, very serious leadership crisis. So Agordzo will be very much needed. You need transformation. So that's the least that Akufo-Addo can do, because Ghana doesn't belong to Akufo-Addo. 10 months, I can't wait. 10 months, he'll be gone. The tyrant, the man who came and destroyed our constitution, man who came and retrograded us for 8 years. I can't wait. So the least he can do is to say that, listen, Dampare, give Agordzo an extension. Let him do the transformation thing. I'm sorry, maybe because at Akufo-Addo's age, but now he should be learning to say sorry for this dastardly act that he and Odame have perpetrated on Agordzo.
Is that expectation not unrealistic? Because you are the same person who says this man set out to destroy ACP Benjamin Agordzo. If that is his aim, why would he give him a contract?
Because the courts have told Akufo-Addo that this is wrong. And so if only is remorseful enough, he will see that, well, I've destroyed a man to a point, but the courts have saved him. And we will say thank you to their lordship Justice Efia Sewa Asaribotre, Afisata Amaliboba, and Stephen. Yes. So we are very grateful. So that's the least that he can do, because Senna, Ghana doesn't belong to, Akufo-Addo alone. He's not the only Ghanaian. In actual fact, he's proven to be the West Ghanaian. So once he realizes that, look, he's now the West Ghanaian, the least he can do is to say, look, give Agordzo an extension. He has to show some remorse. So that he will not hold him accountable for all this bad governance. The case in itself, the exoneration of these people, is an accountability. It's shown how he was misusing political power. So that's a form of accountability, that the court has ruled that what he did was wrong. He is Godfred, Attorney General. So the next thing is for him to do some reparation. Let the man go back, give him an extension. Agordzo is so very strong. Cumulatively can do 5 years. Then he goes, help to transform the police service, which in itself is having very serious leadership crisis.
Would that be enough for him? Because over the period he has been on interdiction.
Yes, 5 years, yes, it's not bad. At least half a loaf is better than none. Yes.
Would you also be seeking some form of payments for him for what he suffered?
Yes, now we are looking at doing malicious prosecution. That is, malicious prosecution in law means the state, not just the state. Somebody knows you've not committed a crime and then report you to the police. But in this case, the Attorney General is even in charge of the prosecution, not just reports. So the difference is that when it comes to malicious prosecution, it's not when you just report to police, then if the person is acquitted, you are in trouble. No. The type that you report to the police and you are briefing down the neck of the police. You're briefing down their neck. You cause them, even when there's no case, you push. No. Let's show him where power lies. Let's show him where power lies. In this particular case, the Attorney General himself, Godfred, was even in charge of the case. They will show you where power lies. Let's go on. So when you misuse the power of prosecution like this to just run down a citizen, when it's done, the citizen can sue you for what is called malicious prosecution. Yes, because you have no faith, you knew. Because what did Agordzo do about any coup? No, you are just directing them. People are going to demonstrate over bad governance. Then he says, okay, you are going to demonstrate over bad governance. Oh, under the Public Order Act, you need to give, 5 days notice to the police. You need to do this, that, and that. Oh, yes, as for Ghana, the conditions are arrived. There's Arab Spring in Ghana. Then you get up and take such a man and then he contributed 2,000 to the activities of the NGO. NGOs do a lot of charity work, and you get up and say, this is supporting a coup d'etat, this is abetment. What a frivolous case, very frivolous to the highest degree. Abuse of the process.
Two arguments that the Attorney General has made. One, he says that for someone like ACP Dr. Benjamin Agordzo, the reason they couldn't secure a guilty verdict was because they made some mistake in the presentation of the evidence against them. That if they had rectified those mistakes, they would have secured a guilty verdict. What do you say?
Oh, that's an afterthought. That's an afterthought. He knew from day one that he had no case. They just want to do, it's a Machiavellian thing. You see, at that time, they wanted to guard public officers. That's why they added Agordzo and the Colonel. They wanted to guard public officers. So that any public officer who wanted to talk about Akufo-Addo's bad governance, Akufo-Addo's corruption, the stinking corruption that has now made his family very rich, the way he's looted up and is about to leave office. So it's just like, okay, if you put Agordzo on trial, you put the Colonel on trial, public officers will be very wary. They'll be very careful. They will be scared of talking about bad governance. Meanwhile, it's a constitutional right under Article 21. There's freedom of speech. So when there's bad governance, citizens, including public officers, have the right to call out the government. Akufo-Addo, the tyrant that he is, didn't want any of that. So they said, okay, then let's add Agordzo and then the Colonel. And that's what they did. But you see now it's unraveled. Okay, so now I think there are other people.
Yes, I understand. Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's lawyer Martin Kpebu speaking to us. He is a lawyer of ACP Dr. Benjamin Agordzo. So he's convinced that this attempt was built on malice from the very beginning. It was malicious. That it was just, he said, to gag public officers. ACP Dr. Benjamin Agordzo was one police officer who didn't mince words when it came to the manner in which the Ghana Police Service was being forced to be subservient to politicians. So he was very critical of the current arrangement in place, because he says the current arrangement in place just makes the Ghana Police Service automatically subservient to whoever was in power. So whoever was in power could dictate to the leadership of the Ghana Police Service, and the leadership of the Ghana Police Service certainly had no choice but to follow, because they were the appointing authority virtually of everything. So they had Big Brother on their back because of the current arrangement. And it was a speech that he delivered that got a lot of public attention. That was the beginning of the attention that the Nana-Addo government, the searchlight that they put on him. And before long, we saw his name among many other names, and they said they had ordered bombs and guns from Kpebu to overthrow the government. And then they had found bombs made in Kpebu, guns made in Kpebu. They had found some kitchen knife. They found some sticks and everything that they were going to use to carry out a coup. So for 5 years, this police officer has stayed ACP, and is one of the few police officers with a doctorate degree in the Ghana Police Service. So he's ACP Dr. Benjamin Agordzo for 5 years. His professional progression has stalled. He has not moved one rank ever since. He is now at the retirement age, so which means that even after the conclusion of this case, he is no longer going back to the Ghana Police Service. He's been on interdiction for 5 years. That's the situation of ACP Dr. Benjamin Agordzo. But he was not the only person who was acquitted and discharged. Not guilty, found not guilty, acquitted and discharged. Lawyer.
Now,